Hey now, it's me. It's Monday. Just getting my motor going here, literally. Just had my first sip of coffee for the day. Monday, the 5th of December. Cheers, people. Well, what an interesting development I'm experiencing. It's Monday. Bandcamp Friday was over Friday. I get up and my new record is still selling. My new digital release, Interlude, is still selling. This is what a wonderful development, and it's worth noting because again, this is Dear Diary, number one. It is, I'm in the VC, but it's like this is my life, so I talk about what's real for me. And this is very nice. Usually, like I said, what happens is you have Bandcamp Friday, you have folks respond. I, look at the stats to see how I do in comparison to the rest of Nebraska because it's interesting. And I get up and I have more sales this morning. And thank you. Thank you very, very much. Would I like to see the latest EP on vinyl with that cover, in particular because of the cover? It would look so good on in 12-inch form. I would love that. We'll see what happens. I'm working on. Shoot, maybe I should use that for the cover of the record next year. We'll see. I really like the way it's. Thank you, people. Thank you so much. I have some records that I played that I can show, and that is one of the primary features of the channel. But I must also say good morning to my family, my sister, my nephews, anyone else I'm related to. Much love to you all. Positive and negative people, much love to all of you. So, this is a record store day item that I picked up after the fact. I think it's a couple of years ago, record store day. J&K Stonebone, horn players. And this is really very laid back. It's almost it almost sounds like a Quincy Jones production, but it's just so laid back. George Benson, Herbie Hancock, the brothers. Interesting colored vinyl. It's not quite red. No. Mulberry or blackberry or something? I don't know. Yeah, I enjoy this, and I know that it's a good thing. So, apparently it's really a real good thing. You know what I'm saying? This is a bootleg 5-day week Straw People. Kind of psychedelic, English pop. Interesting story about this. John Ducan, who was in Andromeda and Atomic Rooster, is the guitarist on here. Apparently this was kind of thrown together, and the drummer who played on this had never heard the tunes before. The album was made in one session, apparently 4 or 5 hours. I can believe that. But when you listen to the record, you can hear the drummer never heard this before. He's just ripping through. He's obviously a good listener because his breaks are good, and his fills work, kind of almost like a Keith Moon sort of thing. Lifetones, For a Reason. One of the Charles Bullen, who was in This Heat with Charles Hayward. This is something that he put together. Has a reggae flavor to it, but something else. I don't know quite how to put it. The cover is good for it, though. This is very neat. Lifetones. This is probably the big winner of the day as far as when I played records yesterday, and I do listen to music regularly. This was the winner. It was something I had bought and needed to get back to. Masayuki Imanashi. I can't quite. Tone. Tone is the name of this. And what we have here is an album of sound work. There's no notes music on here at all. This is sound. It's just fantastic. I love stuff like this when it's put together right. What we have here is him manipulating a radio, paper, and field recordings. I have another recording, I forget the name of the artist, where the entire recording is this person making sounds with paper. Different. It's, the repertoire of what can be done with paper is rather interesting. This is very good for those who are interested in that type of open-ended listening where you never know where it's going to take you. And I played this. This is a keeper mainly for historic reasons for me. It's the English band Jonesy. Keeping Up. Took me a while to get a copy of this. This is not an original. But it was an English band that was on the cusp of trying to be progressive. But this is really raw and together on this album for my ears. There's a couple of instrumental breaks where it's like, okay, there's the possibility. This is where they can be. This is where they're going. But some of the songs are really rough. The actual songs are not very good. But that was fun to listen to. I was trying to remember what all I had bought this year that is of the year, so I could I don't usually do a best of the year, but this year I'm going to. I'm sort of doing it all along. And I remember that I got one of the new Boris albums, W. And so I sat with this because this is kind of murky, gauzy, snakes along. It's kind of dreamy. Another nice color. It's not a hard rock album. This is good though. It's not on my album. It's not a notable album to me of the year. I like Boris, but this is not notable. I thought about it, and even though I don't hardly play it, Porcupine Tree's Closer Continuation, really by virtue of it coming out and me thinking they were over, that goes on my list for albums of the year. Atlantide, Italian, a John Paul Massera concoction or one of his projects. This starts off using the riff from Yes off of Fragile, but they thankfully take it and make it something of their own with this progressive rock. This is very good though, very, very good. I have to be in the mood for this, but I took a dive and got into some Autechre yesterday, and enjoyed LP number 5. Most of it. I don't know which way it's supposed to go. And their last album, Sign. I didn't get this at first. It didn't really sink in at first. They are just doing their own singular thing, and you either get with it or you don't. And I got with it. Last thing to share from yesterday is the new Magma. I knew I needed to give this time. My first impression, especially the first song on side 1, was kind of disappointing. But this time I started on side 2, and I said, okay, this is Magma. At this age, they're mature, they're older, they're old. We're all old, you know what I'm saying? There's no point and trying to pretend that you're young. And so this is the sound of a mature magma. And so I played it from side 2 back to side 1. And then it was like, there it is. This is power. This is pure magma. All the elements that make the music so unique and wonderful are all here. Excuse me, all here on this album. Cartel. So that's what I want to share this morning. And just again, want to always encourage people who are of sound mind and heart to keep it on a positive tip. We need each other. We just live in a really insane world where it's just, madness reigns. It's almost like, I'll make a biblical reference. It's almost like we're living in the time of the Tower of Babel, where everyone is, because of technology, everyone is speaking up and talking, and hardly anyone is listening. And it seems like the more that we talk, the crazier it gets. Well, we could consciously turn that around if we wanted to. That's why I say some of the things that I do. Get on the good foot.